Hey, you crazy founders. Oreo and I wanted to extend a warm welcome and to wish you the best of luck in the accelerator. You're in very good company.
IndieBio Batch 12, congrats on getting here, getting this far, and really excited to see what you guys are building.
Congrats to everyone in IndieBio 12 and have a great demo day.
IndieBio, congrats on all you've accomplished. So excited to see what you've been up to.
Hi IndieBio, congratulations on making it to demo day. Keep crushing it and pushing science forward.
Congratulations IndieBio San Francisco Class 12. We're very grateful for the hard work you've put in the last 4 or 5 months. And this is just the beginning of the journey to human and planetary health.
Hey, IndieBio 12, wishing you the best of luck. Can't wait to see you make it happen.
Hey, IndieBio Batch 12, congratulations. We're all so proud of you. And get ready, because it gets even more interesting after this.
Hey, IndieBio Class 12, congratulations on making it through to the end of the program. You are well equipped for the rest of this incredible journey, and I'm so excited for you. Congratulations.
Hi Batch 12, good luck with demo day.
IndieBio Class 12, we're so excited for you. Huge congrats on your demo day, best of luck. You're out there to change the world.
Hey, SF12, congrats on making it all the way to demo day. The entire IndieBio family is in your corner. We're rooting for your success.
Congrats to all of the founders and the companies presenting today. You made it through here. It's a big deal. I was there 6 years ago in your shoes, and I know how challenging it can be. So best of luck today, and keep up with the great work. Go IndieBio!
Hey everyone, good luck with IndieBio demo day, and can't wait to see what you guys have done.
Congrats to the 13 inspirational startups that will be graduating the program today. You know, our goal at IndieBio is to create products and companies that solve for the most difficult and urgent problems on the planet, improving our human and planetary health. I ask the investors in the audience, as you're watching, please mark down 2 to 3 founding teams that speak to a problem that you think needs to be solved, and to reach out to us or the teams directly to get connected. Together with your capital and time, these startups will thrive and become the leaders of the industries of tomorrow. Thank you and enjoy the program.
Welcome to Demo Day for IndieBio's 12th batch of companies.
We're so excited to reveal them to the world.
They're great companies, and all of them hit their milestones.
Some really hit it out of the park.
It'll be a fast show, 45 minutes, so don't look away.
And for investors, you should be viewing in our portal. And down below this video, you can find company descriptions, decks, appointment booking links to schedule with the founders.
Please book slots right away. They fill up fast.
Now on with the show.
La Puna is the highest and driest desert on Earth. Battered by UV radiation, it gets only 1/5 the rainfall of Death Valley, making the land so arid and saline that almost no plants should be growing there. But they do. Not just desert halophytes, flowering grasses, herbs. Half of the species are grains, which are also found in California. Even a type of Prothegen. The magic is in the microbes, extremophiles, that one of my co-founders, Mariu, has studied for 20 years. We have analyzed 500 strains, 65 of which have growth-promoting properties. At Puna Bio, we are growing them at scale to bring their superpowers to agriculture and food production. Our first products are seed treatments using 2 strains. We've already treated 1,100 tons of seeds, and during IndieBio, we've been getting our second year of field data from 20,000 acres of trials in Latin America. We have 40 different customers who collectively operate 2 million acres. In soybean, the biggest crop in the Americas, our growth increase doubled the gains that are claimed by competitors. In corn and in wheat, we're not only targeting yield increases, but also fertilizer reduction of up to 30%. In the US, we're working with Farmer Business Network and Intent, where we just planted 700 acres of soybeans in 10 trials across 7 states. What farmers really care about is consistency. what they call win rate. Our win rate has been over 90%, 10 to 20% higher than benchmarks claimed by competitors. This is because our extremophiles stick to their roots, forming a biofilm, a mechanism they learned to survive in La Puna. Our competitors are using engineering and directed evolution to give their strains features that our extremophiles have already been doing for the last 3 billion years. Following the Nagoya Protocol guidelines, we have the exclusive license to these extremophiles. They are non-GMO, we culture them in 5 hours rather than the traditional 3 days. Our products are shelf-stable and don't need to be refrigerated, which is very important and easier to scale. In fact, we have already shipped 4,000 liters of our products. Here's what Puna can do that no competitor would even dare try. This plot in the north of Argentina is degraded and drought-stricken soil with twice the salinity that crops tolerate. We added no fertilizer or irrigation. The control crops didn't grow at all. Germination was zero. By 2050, the world could all look like this. But our seed treatment made all the difference. Right on time, dry beans and soybeans prospered. By April, pods were dangling from the stems.
Puna Bio, along with our next two, exemplified the breadth of our thesis, human and planetary health.
Wayfinder harnesses the power of RNA machines, and Cellcrine eliminates the major cost limitation in cultured meats. Both will change these emerging industries.
Nobody really appreciates the complexity of designing RNAs to fold into functional units. They think it looks like this, when in reality, it looks like this. RNA design is like going through a maze, where 99.999999% of the turns lead you to a dead end. We spent years crafting an intelligent biophysical search algorithm, Wayfinder, to find our way through the maze of RNA sequences to engineer functional RNA machines with a map in hand. This is the Rosetta Stone of RNA folding, translating RNA sequence to RNA function. Every day, we're finding out that RNA can fold into new and exciting tools, the latest being CRISPR.
RNAs can bind, they can inhibit, cut, catalyze, express, and even light up. We can combine these functions in new ways that have never existed before in nature. One of these combinations is a biosensor. The RNA function triggers only when it binds to something else. Here's a simple one. If riboflavin is present, then light up. Making a biosensor is not trivial. You need the same RNA to 1. Have a sensing module that binds a target molecule with high affinity and selectivity. 2. It needs to incorporate a fluorescence module that acts as a signal when the molecule is bound to the sensor and then turns off when the molecule unbinds. And 3. To do this, it needs to have a specific kinetic and thermodynamic profile. That's why it often takes years to make a single biosensor. But we've already made 20 biosensors in just 5 months, and many of them are for our customers. The functional possibilities are endless for smart RNAs. Our customers want smart guide RNAs that allow for CRISPR therapeutics to dose themselves. That's easy for Wayfinder. Another customer wants smart mRNAs that turn off when they add a specific molecule. Also easy for Wayfinder. These are customers that you've probably already heard of, and more are lining up to use our platform. As we keep designing more and more functions, our platform gets exponentially better, to the point where nobody else will be able to catch up with our RNA folding informatics. We're building the best RNA programming platform in the world.
The cultured meat industry predicted a future where a liter of serum-free media supplement would gradually come down in cost to pennies per ingredient. Last year, Paul Burridge and his team at Northwestern published a media supplement formula that reduced cost 97%. That product is called B8. Not counting the basal media, the supplement costs just under $5 per liter to make, and it's the benchmark everyone uses today. Well, the future is ahead of schedule. Here at IndieBio today, we are growing chicken muscle cells in a chemically defined serum-free media that reduces cost another 94%. But we got to this point by a different route than everyone else expected, because we weren't even focused on meat at all.
During my postdoc at USC at the Department of Gene Therapy, I had to develop serum-free media for Schwann cells from the auditory nerve, which were extremely difficult to grow. Very few scientists were working on them. After I succeeded, I was recruited to Stanford University at the Department of Surgery, where I work in scarlet wound healing. Nobody else in the world has been able to grow phytokeratinocytes under serum-free conditions. That's where I met my co-founder.
Searching for the missing piece, Rodolfo discovered the complex role of certain proteins that made his cells grow. Nobody has ever used them in cell culture but us. Only a tiny concentration is needed.
How is it work? It helps cells help themselves. After we start up the culture with a tiny bit of FGF2, we no longer need more. The cells secrete their own growth factors, ramping up the autocrine and paracrine signaling among cells. Our supplement is stable, requiring less media changes.
It's natural, and we would say it's much more natural than hammering cells with exogenous growth factors. Last year, for the first time, we applied it to cell-based meats and filed our patent. Cells love our media. They grow better than in 20% fetal bovine serum. And the impact on cost is revolutionary. We can help everybody. We've grown so many types of cells on several species, and we believe it will work on every animal cell. We're collaborating with a number of well-known cultured meat companies. Our supplement is being tested in their facilities right now. Please contact us if you're interested in joining our mission and our team.
The next two companies are in diagnostics.
In this space, we think the big money is not in frontline screening tests, which tend to be used only once to calculate a risk score. The big money is in long-term monitoring with multiple tests.
For decades of a patient's life.
Most people with kidney disease don't die of kidney failure. They die of heart attack. The root cause is poorly regulated potassium levels. The most important job our kidneys do is keeping our potassium levels right. You'd think that with all the advances in ways in which we measure all kinds of health metrics, that keeping track of something that are simple and vital like potassium is trivial. You'd be wrong.
Our platform is empowering kidney doctors with the tools and information, direct measures of potassium, real-time monitoring, actionable data to combat what they refer to as the enemy.
On April 1st, our team at ProtonIntel proved that we can measure in real time the actual potassium levels in my body. It's not based on an AI or machine learning algorithm. It's the exact ion concentration at that exact time.
With the touch of a button, our proprietary sensor nestles just under the skin.
We invented a membrane that can detect potassium even in the presence of common electrolytes like sodium.
The decades of engineering that made continuous glucose monitors safe, easy to use, and comfortable are helping to deliver our tiny sensor into the body too. Every year, dialysis patients suffer from 2 to 3 10-day-long hospital admissions. In the US, That accounts for $25 billion in healthcare spend. And what's most galling about this statistic is that these hospital admissions are preventable. When potassium levels wander into the danger zone, clinicians and patients alike do not know. Other than a blood draw, there is no way to directly measure it. They are flying blind. Armed with our platform, patients and their doctors together can see their potassium levels, manage their health, and prevent these costly and unnecessary hospital stays. ProtonIntel will service value-based contracts alongside providers and payers to improve outcomes for kidney patients.
We've talked to the biggest kidney companies and the best funded chronic kidney disease management systems. And in every conversation, ask is the same. How soon can we be in their patients?
Soon.
Every year, 800,000 patients with a history of bladder cancer have to get monitored because there is a 50 to 80% chance that the cancer would come back again. And there's only one way to get a camera in the bladder without surgery. It is incredibly invasive, and despite that, patients have to do this 2 to 3 times per year for the rest of their life. At Cellens, we have patented an entirely new non-invasive method to detect epithelial cancer just from bodily fluid. With just a urine sample, patient can receive a diagnostic result with a 94% accuracy, avoiding the need for an unnecessary cystoscopy. This tiny probe is like a finger, touching the surface of the cell, collecting the stickiness, softness, and other physical properties of the cell surface. They are the record of cancer recurrence in your epithelia. Right now, our team in Boston is cranking through nearly 1,000 clinical samples from hospitals such as Brigham and Women's and Dana-Farber to validate our patented method. Our patient will be able to ship their sample 2 to 3 times per year from the comfort of their home to our centralized lab. No more invasive procedure. We have analyzed CPT codes and different reimbursement rates. With the highest accuracy test available and even lower cost than a cystoscopy or other urine tests currently available, we have mapped a path to $100 million in revenue with less than 50,000 patients needed. This is because our test is not just for screening. It is for monitoring, which means patients will be taking our test multiple times per year. We can monitor progression and aggressiveness of cancer, which will provide high clinical utility. Cellens is blazing a new path for non-invasive cancer detection.
At IndieBio, we're never afraid to question conventional wisdom.
Like the assumption that we can and will electrify everything. Cars that we drive a few hours a day are not the same as trucks that work all day and much of the night.
SolidOx is here to eliminate emissions, even though they're pumping liquid fuels.
We are SolidOx, and we make fleets of electric vehicles that do real hard work, like trucks and buses. Our electric trucks charge their batteries by pumping gas. Really, a liquid fuel, like ethanol. Yes, the same ethanol that's already 10% of your regular gas today. Where else does all that corn go? In our trucks, the ethanol isn't burned, it's split. Part of it becomes fresh electrons for your battery, some becomes heat, and a bit becomes CO2. That CO2 is retained in the tank as a liquid. And those fresh electrons, they let our trucks stay on the road longer between charges. So to get your raspberries from LA to New York with a battery electric truck, it would need to stop 11 times for 2 hours each to fast charge. Our truck can get those raspberries to New York in one 10-minute refill in Tulsa. And it's still not emitting CO2 to the atmosphere. During my PhD on electricity and energy markets, I discovered that the numbers just don't add up to fast charge entire fleets of trucks, buses, and other work vehicles. We would need more grid, more chargers, and more money, to the tune of tens of trillions of dollars in the US alone. We can't wait to create favorable market conditions, because as the saying goes, if your wheels ain't turning, you ain't earning. Inside this onboard triple charger sits our secret weapon, a system that converts CO2 gas into a liquid by taking the heat that was produced and creating a cold, cold place. No added energy required. Just last week we hit the magic number, -40. At -40 degrees Celsius, we successfully converted CO2 gas into CO2 liquid. That means our prototype is working. In a couple of months, we're going to bolt it onto a chassis from our partners at Smith EV to convert this plug-in electric truck into one that we're going to drive across the country. This summer, on ethanol alone. We're going to go farther, faster than any emissions-free vehicle ever.
Welcome to Solid Ox.
IndieBio was the first investor to make meatballs without the cow, leather without the hide, and wood without the tree.
In that tradition, here's 3 more. Sunscreen without poison, fish and chips without fish, and molecular farming without the farming.
A short history of sunscreens and why they suck. Mud, too dirty. Zinc oxide, too chalky. In the 1920s, we got phenyl salicylate, not protective enough. In the 1930s, we got para-aminobenzoic acid, but it stained people's clothes and people were allergic to it. Fast forward to the 1980s, we have avobenzone, oxybenzone, octisalate, octocrylene, and octinoxate. Guess what? They all absorb through skin. It turns out 1970s chemicals weren't that great for you after all. Sunscreens should stay on your skin, not your liver and kidneys. Moms are scared. Europe is banning them. Hawaii doesn't want them touching their reefs. That's why Congress has mandated a brand new pathway to approve sunscreens and bring them to market even faster. Soliome is disrupting a $20 billion industry in sunscreens, not with chemicals, not with minerals, but with peptides. Biological compounds that are already found in your body, so you know they're safe for you, your kids, and the whole planet.
Our flagship peptides absorb UVA and UVB radiation 2 trillion times a second and they never get tired. Our testing shows that our sunscreens last 10 times longer than the leading chemical sunscreen, meaning that you're protected all day, not just a couple of hours. And when you're done with our sunscreens, they form vitamins and nutrients that even coral will appreciate.
How does it feel on your skin, I mean?
Insatiable. All real freaky. Freaky girls really turn me on.
Here's how we do it. Isolate, ozonate, dehydrate, formulate, package.
At IndieBio, we've gotten to the gram scale in 2 weeks and get to the kilogram in 6. And nobody can copy us. We've got the IP.
This $20 billion industry is being disrupted on 2 sides. Governments and consumers are boycotting it. The FDA is approving brand new ingredients faster than any time in history. Unlike zinc oxide, our peptides aren't just reef friendly, they're reef beneficial. And we have collaborations at Stanford that are proving this. Protect you, your kids, the planet.
An underwater forest of seaweed captures carbon, decidifying the ocean. In fact, per acre it sequesters 3 times more carbon than the same size forest on land. On the west coast of Ireland, seaweed is popular to eat because of the alginates, and omega-3s help reduce inflammation in the lungs. Ireland has one of the highest rates of asthma in the world. Our seaweed is known for its distinctive taste of the ocean. Our cold waters come down from the Arctic and mingled with the mineral runoff from our limestone cliffs that formed 400 million years ago.
We've been selling seaweed burgers, which are a combination of plant-based ingredients and 8 seaweed species. For the past 6 months, we've been in 50 stores. We also introduced seaweed goujons, which are light, airy, snackable and hard to stop eating. Now we have demand to supply 300 more stores here and distributors and trains across Europe, with thousands of stores wanting to book orders. We're racing to scale our seaweed supply chain and to perfect our third product, a plant and seaweed based fillet of white cod, matching the distinctive flakiness we all look for, sautéed with potatoes or offsetting the crunch of a deep fry with chips. Ireland has an abundance of seaweed. 40,000 tonnes of wild seaweed stock is available, but it's intensive labour.
So as we move to coastal farming, we have the support of 2 Irish agencies, BIM, Bord Ishka Mara and Uachtaráis na Gaeltachta, who are training local fishermen to harvest on 500-metre rope lines, easily pulled up and collected twice a year.
We'll have large indoor drying machines, and when we expand to Europe, we'll be building our own hatchery to seed lines.
I'm Jennifer O'Brien, and I believe in the power of our seas to restore our environment. I believe what we eat impacts our health and the health of the ocean. Join us at Sea and Believe.
Do you know why fruits ripen after they're harvested? It's not because they're dying. It's because they're living. Every enzyme in this fruit is still breaking down sugars and synthesizing new proteins. In other words, they have a very active metabolism. We use this insight to invent a new process for producing high-value proteins. By inserting our own customized DNA instructions, we can make any crop produce any complex protein. Our competitors in molecular farming have to wait months not only to harvest their proteins, but also to iterate and optimize. Here at IndieBio, we're doing something different. We call it molecular farming without the farming. While our competitors have to spend millions on stainless steel reactors and vertical farms to scale up, we only need to use the humble fruit. To be precise, we use ugly fruit, the ones which never make it to the market and are otherwise discarded. Our friends in the business sell us ugly fruits for dollars per ton, so we can run a lean operation, fast cycles, low capex, and low opex. In a way, Flavio, Maggie, and I have already been in this business for almost 10 years. The first company we founded a decade ago still processes 30 tons of ugly fruit each month to extract natural flavor and color ingredients for our clients. Extraction by the ton is our bread and butter. We've already been optimizing proteins like FGF2, TGF-beta, bovine serum albumin, and insulin for cultured meat industry, and collagens 1 and 21 for the new wellness trends, and hemoglobin for plant-based burgers. But just to flex our muscles, we're chasing the holy grail of plant-based cheese industry, kappa casein. Without it, vegan cheese will never taste, stretch, or solidify the same way dairy cheese does. It's the most elusive protein in the entire casein complex, and whoever can produce this protein at scale will dominate the vegan cheese market. And so, we made it in a few weeks. And 2 weeks later, we increased our yields by 500x. We're just getting started. Velocity is the name. Speed is the game.
You know that feeling. It's too good to be true. At IndieBio, we fund it to find out. For these next two companies, they proved it to us. We're impressed, and we hope you are too.
The gentleman explained it one time that I thought encapsulated it very well. He goes, take a beer bottle, crush that glass down into a fine powder. Now get that powder molten hot and inject it into the big toe of your foot. Now every time that your heart beats, you take that spot where you injected it and you hit it with a hammer. That's what gout feels like. Kidney stones, it's a much similar pain, except it's through a way more intimate area.
This is just one story from the 20 million patients with gout and kidney stones in the US alone. Their doctors offer prescription drugs that don't take away the pain and invariably come with serious side effects. Looking for safe alternatives, they wind up on an internet odyssey. People currently spend $250 a month on ineffective remedies like extreme diets and herbal extracts. That equates to hundreds of millions of dollars each year in the US alone. Nothing in the supplement market today offers treatment options for chronic conditions like gout or kidney stones.
We have created a better solution. My name is Christoph Geisler, and together with my co-founder James Francis, we are unlocking the natural potential of probiotic bacteria to address the root causes of painful chronic conditions.
Nature equipped probiotic bacteria with dormant abilities to sequester and biodegrade various toxins. Our platform is built on knowing which bacteria have what abilities and how to safely unlock them. This enables us to turn specific GRAS-certified probiotic strains into tools for effective and safe toxin removal that'll be available directly to consumers this fall. Unlock Labs is taking a totally different approach from current consumer probiotics that work to build a diverse intestinal microbiome. Our probiotics are precision tools designed to take away specific toxins that lead to painful chronic conditions. We've already created probiotic microbes that directly reduce uric acid and oxalic acid levels, the toxins that cause gout and the majority of kidney stones. We even have traction with a waitlist of over 200 gout patients wanting to try our probiotics for $100 a month. Later this summer, we'll start selling directly to consumers, so the next time that they're searching on the internet, we'll be there for them with a truly effective product.
This is just the beginning. At Unlock Labs, we are creating solutions for chronic illnesses with the safety of dietary supplements and the efficacy of drugs.
All cells in our body contain oxygen and iron, two elements necessary for life, but that can also combine in a deadly fashion to produce free radicals. When free radicals attack the membranes of our cells, it's called lipid peroxidation. If too much lipid peroxidation occurs, cells will die, and this process is called ferroptosis. Ferroptosis is tied to many diseases like stroke, neurodegeneration, and cancer. It has been clear for some time that lipid peroxidation and ferroptosis are occurring in disease. But previous pharma efforts to target these mechanisms have failed. In early 2000, pharmaceutical companies tried to target lipid peroxidation. They failed because they didn't understand the whole pathway. They didn't have the right assays, and they didn't have biomarkers to follow their compounds in vivo. Now, it's 2022, and we have all of that, and more. I'm Davide Zanchi, the CEO of Prothegen. My co-founder, Professor Scott Dixon, discovered ferroptosis in 2012 and is still studying its impact at his lab at Stanford. Together with chemist Derek Pratt, one of the world leaders in free radical trapping, we're creating the next generation of drugs to combat lipid peroxidation They will succeed where many big pharma efforts have failed. Our lead candidate is 10,000 times more potent than anything brought to clinical trials before. It's stable 400 times longer than existing two compounds that are currently used in lab work. For the first time, we are working with the knowledge and technologies that allow us to create a platform of killer drugs candidates that prevent ferroptosis for ischemia, neurodegeneration, and cancer. It's the right mechanism, the right team, and the right technology. Come join us at Prothegen to develop the next generation medicines targeting ferroptosis.
The show started in the fields of agriculture, and now we're going back to the land to end the show.
The heat and drought stress our crops go through will only increase. And when it comes to the fight against pests, the bugs are evolving faster than industry is.
Climate Crop and Pyrone Systems are here to help humankind adapt.
What you see on your screen may look like mosquitoes gently being put to sleep. It's anything but that. These insects are being knocked out with a new ingredient we're testing called Pogostone. I am an industry veteran. It is an open secret in this $17 billion industry that mosquitoes, ticks, and other bugs have become resistant to pesticides and insecticides currently on the shelves. I'm proud to say that many mosquitoes were in fact harmed in the filming of this video. I'm also happy to report that our preliminary data strongly indicates that Pogostone is non-toxic to humans, to birds and bees, and to the environment. Pogostone is a bioprivileged molecule found in the patchouli plant, and this is where customers start getting excited. Biologicals are the fastest growing category in the insecticide market. This should be great news for us, but there's a catch. Alex will tell us more.
Over to you, Alex.
You'd have to grow patchouli on fields 4 times the size of Texas to supply the market. So, we've come up with a better way to make Pogostone. It all starts with our platform molecule, Pyrone 1, which we make using genetically engineered yeast. Just like what you see on this plate. We take these yeast and we mix it with the byproducts from making this. That's right, cooking oil.
Working with oil inputs can give us 2.7 times the Pyrone 1 compared to a conventional sugar-based fermentation. In a first-of-its-kind approach, we are making Pyrone 1 inside the cell's peroxisome, the part where fatty acids are metabolized. We train the cell to direct all its efforts to produce precursors of Pyrone 1. And it's working. We've increased Pyrone 1 production 70-fold in just a month. With yield data coming in every day, Brian is excited to kick off commercialization.
Over to you, Brian.
We are in talks with distributors already. There is a lot of interest currently as the market acutely feels the demand pull for biologics that actually work. If you thought this was it, Pogostone is just the beginning. Brent has big plans.
Over to you, Brent.
Pyrone 1 is a chemical building block that can empower markets way beyond insect control. What takes Pyrone 1 to the next level is our proprietary one-step chemistry and know-how. While it may seem like a small addition, this one chemical step unlocks 7 new markets. Whether it's the $7 billion corrosion inhibitor market facing huge regulatory pressures, or the $120 billion lubricant market that want to decarbonize. We're moving fast. The Pyrone Systems teams are experts in biology and chemistry, masters of scaling up operation, and sales and marketing warriors.
We are Pyrone Systems. Ooh, that was brutal.
Let's take a journey deep inside the leaf, to the foundation of our civilization. For countless millennia, humanity has relied on photosynthesis for most of our food, clothes, shelter, and fuel. Many scientists have tried to improve photosynthetic efficiency. All failed. We took a different approach. As plant biologists at the Weizmann Institute, my co-founders Erez and Vivek, led by the late Professor Avichai Danon, uncovered a new mechanism, looking downstream from photosynthesis. They looked at proteins regulating the synthesis of starch in leaves. Transitory starch stored in the leaves is the battery of the plant. This starch is used overnight and in high stress conditions when photosynthesis isn't possible. By increasing starch production, we allow plants to handle stress and grow faster to create more biomass from fruit to root. The protein we discovered exists in not just 1 or 2 plants, but hundreds of thousands of species across row crops, fruits, vegetables, and even trees. At Weizmann, we tested this in 3 crops. In potatoes, we saw 91% yield increase in greenhouse testing and 40% increase in field trials with 27% higher survival rate during a heat wave. In canola, a 40% increase in yield. In sorghum, a C4 plant, 24% increase. We are replicating those experiments while also testing for climate resilience, a huge concern for all our prospective customers. Like in canola, where our plants were exposed to heat shock of 35 degrees Celsius for 13 hours and were better able to survive and recover. We are also testing sorghum plants for accelerated growth and seeing flowering starts 10 days earlier than control. This could mean a shorter growing season and early harvest, lowering the risk of crop loss to increasing extreme weather events. Our process is fast. We edit a specific regulatory domain of our target protein. In most countries, we are not GMO. We have the world exclusive license to the IP from Weizmann and the commercial CRISPR license for editing. Small edit, big impact.
Small edit, big impact. That's kind of how I think of IndieBio.
And one last reminder for investors, please book meetings with the founders. They're all raising now.
To all the scientists and entrepreneurs who are watching, we encourage you to apply right now. We offer a $525,000 investment to start, and we're kicking off our next batch in San Francisco this summer.
Lastly, we'll end with a highlight reel from last week where we invited investors to come meet with the founders in person. Our place is always open to visitors, so we hope to see you soon.
We want to showcase to people the progress we've made as a company. This is the first time ever in humanity that we've been able to measure continuous potassium levels in our body.
We've developed a proof of concept process to make Pyrone 1, all the while in the lab downstairs.